Over the last 4 months, the Uganda government has been facilitating talks between the M23 rebels and the DRC government delegations. However, a week ago, the M23 rebels accepted to sign a ceasefire agreement after the DRC government conceded to some key conditions put before by the M23 rebel delegation led by Francoise Rucogoza, while the government delegation was led by Raymond Tshibanda. After these intensive closed-door talks with consultations on both sides by the chief negotiator who doubles as Uganda's defense minister, Dr. Crispus Kionga, the signing of a peace accord by 11 member states to the African Union last week in the presence of the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is feared to be a move to water down Uganda's initiative to the return of peace in the Volta and Eastern Congo.
It's actually like a vote of no confidence on Uganda. Taking the agreement to be signed in Addis Ababa is a vote of no confidence on Kampala. But it's good it has been signed. Now what is left is whether it will be implemented, whether the agreement will hold water, and whether the two parties to the conflict will bind themselves to the...
While it may be perceived as a sign of awarding a vote of no confidence to Uganda's initiative, citing alleged suspicion and mistrust by the Congo government in the earlier stages of the war, accusing Uganda and Rwanda of aiding the M23 rebels, other independent political analysts have argued that the latest DRC signed peace accord in Addis Ababa by the 11 African Union member states in the presence of the UN chief adds more credibility to Uganda's peace initiative, but also seemingly likelihood of reducing suspicion on Uganda can't be ruled out.
Taking this agreement to be signed in Addis Ababa is to reduce the extent of doubt on the agreement, the extent of mistrust on Uganda, so that what is put at the end on the stamp will be the African Union, the usual seat of African discussion on African business.
However, Fungaro also says the signing of the DRC Peace Accord shortly after Uganda had sealed a deal for the signing of a ceasefire agreement between the M23 rebels and the DRC government delegations has serious implications about the credibility of the African Union independence to decide for itself without internal and external influence.
Even in the case of Uganda participation in Somalia, many of the things which are done in the name of the African Union are driven by Uganda. They are done here. So you ask, the African Union vis-a-vis Uganda, which one is bigger? Is Uganda bigger than the African Union?
In spite of the internal weaknesses within the African Union, the signed DRC Peace Accord calls for regional countries to refrain from interfering in each other's affairs and aims at encouraging the reform of weak institutions in the DRC. The Peace Accord also provides for strategic revision of 17,000-man United Nations Organization stabilization mission in the DR Congo, which may lead to creation of a special UN intervention brigade to combat rebel groups and support reforms and appointment of a UN special envoy. Sibasi, Peace Television, here in the capital, Kampala.